Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and this is Crystalline. If you want to see more of that, subscribe at every day you will get a notification in your subscription box that the video is out, and so on. Now, for the game. It is the next day, and as always, we wake up in this world, I guess luckily enough. That was a crazy day yesterday as well. If you haven't seen it, previous video is out there. But we somehow managed to pull through, of course. I stand up and stretch while looking around. Everyone seems to be sleeping. Everyone but Leanna, of course. She's always up bright and early to practice. I think she's rubbing off on me because I'm waking up early these days. I look down at my pango. What the? He's a bigger blob than I remember. He grins contentedly. Why are you absorbing energy all night? Glad to see you're so happy. No more energy for you. You do you. You know what? I don't mind. I mean, we know nothing bad happens to him, so it's okay. Glad to see you're so happy. I smile at my pongo and pat him on the head. He snuggles against my hand. Whatever makes you happy, little guy. I stretch again. Ever since I got into the routine with Leanna, I look forward to our morning spars. Between the magic training and sword training, maybe I could eventually become a Mage-Knight. Wait, you're not thinking of going back? That's surprising. It doesn't take me long to find Leanna back in her usual outfit. She sits cross-legged with her eyes closed as if in meditation. Her crystal glows in her manipulator, but otherwise she doesn't move. As I move closer, she breaks from her trance and gives me a warm smile.
Good morning!
Hey! Just practicing energy channeling. She nods.
I was just waiting for a certain someone to wake up so we could spar.
I mean, you could have woken me up. I'm sorry for keeping waiting, milady. What if I don't want to spar? It's time to duel! I don't know, what is this a reference to? Like Beyblade or whatever? I haven't watched that, to be honest. What if I don't want to spar? No, I'm sorry for keeping you lady. What? I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, milady. Let's go with that. I like this one. I wear an apologetic smile. My apologies. I should not keep a lady waiting. Leanna giggles.
Aren't you quite the gentleman? But
yeah.
That means I'll go easy on you.
I would like to think so. I'm ready, my blade. I wouldn't have it any other way.
We'll start with a standard spar. The goal is to knock your opponent to the ground. Ready?
My grip tightens around my blade. I nod. Let's go! We dash towards each other and our swords meet in a metallic clank. Leanna spins around and swings her swords towards my side. I break my sword down and hear another clash. Metal hits metal. When I push her blade back. Black? What? Back. That's got to be a mistake here. As I move to strike, Leanna easily parries it as she knocks my sword away, creating an opening. I manage to dodge her strike just in time. She ducks low to avoid my retaliating blow and thrusts her sword again. We continue to dance back and forth as the duel progresses. I can feel myself improving. I'm not having as much trouble defending against Leanna's attacks, and I'm able to get a few jabs of my own in too. Beds of sweat cover Leanna's forehead in no light sheen. It doesn't look like she's using her wind magic to buff her. So we should do it. Leanna matches my intensity, something she does every match. Just so I feel confident I have the upper hand, she increases her skill level and I have to scramble to keep up again. Regardless of my improvement, I still haven't been able to beat her in a single match, and those statistics do hurt my pride a little. Maybe if I can distract her and catch her by surprise, I'll have a better chance of winning a match. I've been playing by Leanna's rules this whole time. Maybe it's time to take a play from Zach's book. Do whatever you need to win! It's okay, I don't mind being a loser. Initiate operation. Initiate operation, distraction tactics. How about we try that? I mean, it's not like we need to learn from one person, right? Let's try. I wonder what he will do. I wonder if it's even possible to rat Leanna. I guess we'll find out soon. I mean, we can say, no, Pango, don't touch that sphere! That tainted sphere. Anyway, what would be the best way to distract her? Look, a squirrel. There's spooky ghost behind you. I find you attractive. I mean, it's not a lie. I still think the best way to distract her would be saying, whoa, Pango is running away with a tainted sphere. Anyway, let's say that one. Squirrel, that will not work. Spooky ghost. Maybe if we were in that shady forest. I also want to just say that. Let's say it, whatever. I know this might not be the most appropriate time to say it, but I really like you.
Wait, what did you just say?
Leanna's cheeks change pink and there is a pulse in her movements as she's taken back. Now it's my chance! Before Leanna has a chance to react, I strike her with a flat of my blade. She scrambles to block the attack, but leaves herself wide open in doing so. Taking advantage of the opening, I connect a shoulder tackle and Leanna falls ungracefully to the ground. It takes a moment for this image to set in. I did it! Leanna glares at me and frowns.
Hey, that's not fair!
I'm the greatest swordsman of Isaria! The student becomes the master. Don't be such a sore loser. I don't like any of those options, to be honest. I don't know, let's say... this one. Why not, huh? Wait, now that I've bested you, I guess I need to find a new mentor. Leanna's eyebrow twitches.
What you need to go find is the meaning of honor.
I don't have any of that. Don't be so salty. Leanna's might play flickers to life. Oh boy.
Two can play at that game.
Oh boy. Oh boy. She glares daggers at me. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. I was just kidding earlier. Actually, we were being serious with what we said, but before I finish my sentence, Leanna thrusts her gauntlet forward and a powerful gust of wind pulls me to the air. Whoa, I can't fly! I wave my arms helplessly as I try to lay my feet to the ground. Then my momentum kisses and I hover for a split second before I come crashing down to the ground. I gasp for breath as I stare up at the sky. As my vision clears, I see Leanna looking down at me with a triumphant smirk on her lips and her hands on her hips. Alright, I might have deserved that.
Might?
Let's go with definitely. Leanna laughs and extends a hand. I can't let her win on such a smooth note. I grab her hand and yank her down with me. She looks in surprise as she loses her footing and falls to the ground. Before she can make sense of what's happening, I roll over and pin her under me.
What are you doing?
It's twice you've let your guard down. She frowns.
And that's twice you've used cheap tricks.
I shrug. Well, how else do you expect me to beat an unbeatable Mage-Knight?
Huh?
I've seen the way you fight in real, but you'd mop the floor with me in an instant with spar for real and you used even half of your capabilities.
That's not true. In our last couple of spars, I've been pushing myself to match your intensity.
Mm-hmm. You're just saying that. Leanna shakes her head.
In the beginning that would have been true, but your growth as a swordsman has been tremendous. How much you've learned and improved in such a short time. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, please don't call me a genius! Leanna looks up at me with a genuine smile and pride in her eyes. Despite still, I can feel my cheeks getting hot. Let's be honest, the credit should go to the person who works tirelessly to train me every day. I smiled at her and she smiled back. This time it's her turn to blush, and as our eyes look, I feel a warmth course through me. I'm reminded again just how amazing she really is. Come on, man, say that what you said to distract her was truth. I wouldn't mind if you did that. It still impressed me just how much time Leanna spends to help me in whatever way she can, and I'm eternally grateful. She searched my eyes with her own, and then her cheeks turned redder.
I suppose you did technically knock me down first, which would make you the victor in this spar.
I'll take any win I can get on this point. She laughs. I'm actually aware of her body beneath me, but neither one of us seems eager to move apart. There is a moment of hesitancy to her voice as she speaks softly.
Well, You finally got me.
What do you mean?
What are you gonna do next?
What do you mean? Again, her eyes search my own, like a gentle breeze urging me into their direction. The sunlight gleams off of her armor, and I feel the kiss of her skin as she shifts beneath me. What do you want me to do? She lowers her eyes and parts her lips. I was about to speak, but no words come out. My gaze falls to her lips, and I can't stop myself from imagining how soft they would feel. So we begin to bridge the gap between us. When we hear a noise beside us.
Where did you two disappear to?
Ah, Zach! Read the mood! I whip my head around to see a stunned Zach. He looks at me, pinning Leanna to the ground, and shakes his head as he quickly turns away.
Forget I asked.
It's not what it looks like! As fast as lightning, I jump off Leanna. My face feels like it's on fire. Leanna scrambles to her feet, her face just as red as mine.
We were just sparring.
Yeah, that's what they call it, right?
What an interesting way to spar.
Leanna's blush somehow deepens.
You have it all wrong.
Right. Anyway, when you finish up your, spar, feel free to rejoin us at the camp. Food's ready, not that I have an appetite anymore.
Zach heads back to camp without giving us a chance to retort. Leanna points to me, refusing to make eye contact.
What? Stay right there.
What do you... Yes!
I'm going back first. You can follow later. We are not going back together.
Like that will change anything. Right, not together. Leanna collects her sword and miscellaneous items. Then Power walks away from me and back to the camp. What the heck just happened? After taking a moment to compose myself and still my pounding heart, I also got my sword and items. Then I wait what I think is a suitable amount of time before following her back to the camp. Everyone else is up by the time we return to the camp. Do they know? I smell the delicious aroma of food and grab myself a bowl. Once everyone is served, we sit down together to eat. And Zach is like, you won't believe what I've seen in the morning. I'd be like that. Anyway, Leanna makes it a point to sit as far away from me as possible. She stares hard at her food as if it's the most interesting thing she's ever seen. I glance around at the rest of the group to see if anyone takes notice. Zach remains expressionless. Emily occasionally glances at Leanna and then at her own bowl of food as if wondering what did this Leanna seeing. I stayed not sure I'm ready for the inevitable teasing, then brace myself and look at Kara. She doesn't seem to notice me and is cheerfully enjoying her meal. Whew, at least Zach didn't tell anyone else. Yet. After a few moments of silence, Amelia seems to remember something and grabs a book from her pack.
Here.
She nods. She hands it to Kara. Kara blinks surprised and notices it's the same book Kara gave Emmy back at the Earth Temple.
You don't want this anymore.
She's like, I've memorized it all. Amelia shakes her head.
I have read through the literature and it does not contain any information which could be of use.
Really? We found it in an old temple. Are you sure it's not something that the Mage Academy would want?
It's actually a cooking book. No.
The text is a subjective moral lesson in the way of a fictional story about an adolescent. This yields no academical benefit.
Kara thinks and shrugs.
Okay, if you're sure you don't want it, then I can sell it. It's still an ancient relic after all.
Do as you please with it.
Alright, thanks, Amy.
She nods and resumes eating. Once everyone has eaten their fill, we clean up the camp and continue on our journey. We travel together for quite some time. Finally, the sun begins dipping low and streaking the sky with sizzling pinks and yellows. Rocks crunch under our boots as we continue down the path. The air is brisk and goosebumps shiver up my arms. A sharp breeze cuts through my clothes and I wonder how much further we need to walk. We manage to drag our way through, the chill deepening with each vanishing beam of sunlight. Kara leads the way a few steps ahead of us. Zach's expression is hard to read, but I notice him pull his coat in a little tighter around him. Leanna wraps her hands together before puffing a hot breath into the cradle of her palms. The Pango knuckles against my neck and disappears into my scarf. He's even colder than usual, making me shiver again. I guess I'm not the only one noticing the chill.
Aw, poor little guy. It's pretty cold out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We should pick up the pace. When night falls, it's only going to get worse.
We agree. My teeth rattle from the cold, and I tuck my freezing hands under my arms. The bitter breeze swirls through Leanna's hair and makes her shiver. She coils tighter in herself. Amelia's cloak balloons out behind her, and she lifts her hood over her head. Ask why she's not using fire magic to keep warm. Keep moving, keep moving. I mean... yeah? I mean, I would do that. Hey, Amy, can you use your fire magic to keep us warm?
Such an expenditure of energy would be wasteful.
Come on, Amy. She shakes her head. I let out a deep, defeated sigh. A human furnace would have been so nice. We continue on. The wind ruffles my hair and passes right through me, numbing me with cold. Even Zach folds into himself and stuffs his hands deep into his pockets. Amelia yanks her hood tighter around her ears and face and tries to keep her cloak from billowing out too much. What about Kara? How does she manage things? Leanna keeps her head down, the frigid air turning her cheeks pink. But Kara's walking ahead of us with a little skip in her step. Her arms dangle at her sides as if she's just taking an afternoon stroll. I nudge Zach. Is Kara not cold? Zach untucks himself from his coat long enough to take a look. Then his voice drops too.
Doesn't seem like she is.
Leanna hears us talking and blinks in surprise at Kara.
How is she not cold?
What kind of magic is this? It's because she's hot. So hot. Anyway, first one. There's only one explanation. She obviously knows magic. Zach and Leanna just stare at me. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys talking about me?
My mouth drops. How does she always hear us? Leanna and Zach look alarmed too. Amelia just blink at the commotion.
Aren't you freezing?
Kara looks at her blankly.
I don't think so.
Zach's stare intensifies. His face is frozen in a confused grimace.
Seriously? How's that even possible when you're barely wearing...
Kara tilts her head and raises an eyebrow. She smiles and the rest of Zach's sentence trails off. Leanna gapes at her.
Seriously, what's your secret?
Secret?
There's gotta be a secret to it, right? Or some kind of heating device that's keeping you warm?
Amy steps over and checks her manipulator.
She does not seem to be using any magical assistance to keep warm.
Kara laughs.
Are you guys a little chilly or something?
Leanna's trembling becomes a little more noticeable as she huddles between me and Amelia. Kara glances at each of our trembling forms and for a moment she seems confused.
Oh, wow. You guys do look cold.
Because it is!
She watches Leanna, Amy and I step close together for warmth and her expression changes like a light bulb went off in her head. She turns to Zach and her mouth spreads into a slow smirk. The way she's looking at him reminds me of a fox eyeing a rabbit.
Actually, you're right. I'm freezing. Ooh.
So good. She wraps her arms around herself and feigns a violent shudder before cozying up to Zach.
I'm terribly, terribly cold.
She's so great. He shuffles away from her.
What are you doing?
Her pose.
Trying to stay warm, of course. Aren't you cold too?
Zach froze.
I'm not cold.
Just as he says that, the wind picks up again. He shivers and crosses his arms. A slight grin spreads across Kara's face.
Oh, of course you're not.
She moves towards him and Zach shoves away again.
not happening.
Kara frowns.
But I'm not dressed appropriately for this weather.
How is that my fault?
Kara looks up at him with big, shimmering puppy eyes.
Okay.
She looks defeated and sniffles.
I guess I'll try to manage somehow.
She hugs us with another theatrical shiver and exaggerates a few more sniffles for added effect. Zack shifts side to side, clearly uncomfortable. He crosses his arms and lets out a deep sigh. Deep sigh.
Fine.
He goes to take off his coat, but Kara stops him.
Wait, I don't want you to be cold too.
Well, there's no other option.
That some devilish smirk slides across her face.
Sure there is.
She lifts up Zack's jacket and slips inside, pressing herself against him. She's great.
Hey!
What? We have to keep warm, right? This jacket is big enough for the both of us.
Zack looks like he's about to argue but says nothing. Kara smiles and snuggles into him. Zack's cheeks tinge pink and he looks away from her. Kara sees his blush and smirks again.
Don't think I'm enjoying this. I'm only doing this because it'll be troublesome if you get sick.
You're right.
Of course you are. That's so sweet. Thank you.
My eyes drift over to Leanna. She glances at me and blushes before quickly looking away. Maybe that means she wants to get close too. Snuggle buddy! Give the fair maiden your scarf. Continue on. I feel like after what happened in the morning, she might not want the first one. I didn't even know we had a scarf, by the way. I mean, he mentioned it now, but I didn't know it before. Let's go with the scarf. I feel like it's... I unwind my scarf much to the dismay of the Pango and hand it over to Leanna, and she balks?
What are you doing?
I'm being chivalrous! Leanna arches an eyebrow.
Chivalrous?
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's pretend I said it the same way. I settle the scarf over her shoulders and shove the rest behind her neck. Leanna flushes as I reach around her to loop the other half up to the front, as half smile rises on my lips. I can be gallant and knightly sometimes. Her blush deepens.
Well, you don't have to do that.
I know, but I want to. I cocoon the scarf around her throat again, and Leanna's eyes dart to the ground. I tie it in a loose knot and hoist the fabric up to cover her pink ears. You need more than I do. The Pango shoots me an indignant look, then hops over off my shoulder and into Leanna's arms. He finds his way up to her neck and burrows back beneath the scarf, then lets out a contented sigh. Sorry. I should have mentioned the scarf is a 2-for-1 deal. Leanna laughs.
It seems that way.
She pauses and smiles softly.
Thank you.
No problem.
We are nearing Ellendale. The journey should not be much longer.
Oh, really? What a shame.
Zack gives her a look.
I mean, oh boy. Yeah, it's so cold. Good thing we're almost there.
She's great. Dude, Kara is great. Oh my god. Zack and Kara quicken their pace and we follow them for the rest of the journey. We travel for a few days. It seems to get colder and colder the more we travel, but we somehow manage. On one of the afternoon, we finally arrive in Ellendale. Holy crap! That's some city. Although there's still a present chill in the air, the sun's bright rays warm us as it glints off the impressive buildings. The people here are well dressed and pay no attention to us. They must be used to seeing those from out of town. As we venture further into the town, I notice lots of people heading towards the center of the square and into a large structure. What do you guys think that building is over there? Emily glances where I point and brightens up.
That is exactly where we need to be headed.
She speeds up, looking pleased. It seems like everyone else needs to be there too.
Is there an event going on? What exactly is in there?
But the is already out of an earshot. We pick up the pace to keep up. When we enter, I'm blown away by the sheer magnitude of the place. The main doors open into a hallway which splits into adjoining wings. One wing is labeled the library. There's a conservatory and a cultural center too. The conservatory does not allow visitors, but the cultural center seems to be hosting some sort of exhibition, and that is where a crowd of people are filtering into. Leanna breathes out in wonder as she takes in the hall. Kara cranes her neck to get a better look into the library while Zack watches the crowd. Emmy turns towards us.
The library in Ellendale is renowned for its collection of rare tomes. It is the largest library in Havengard. Since we are already aware the Wind Temple is in this vicinity, I hope that by cross-referencing the books in the library with the notes from Eldorism, I will be able to narrow down their exact location.
Okay. Leanna notes.
Good idea. Do you need any help?
Emmy shakes her head.
I am confident that I will discover the information we need sooner rather than later.
Kara grins.
You don't have to tell me twice. I've got some business of my own I'd like to take care of while we're here.
Zack narrows his eyes.
What kind of business?
Kara smiles sweetly.
I had no idea you took such an interest in me.
He crosses his arms.
I just want to make sure you aren't getting into trouble.
That doesn't sound like me.
It does sound like you, actually.
Alright, why don't we all take some time to relax and explore Ellendale, and meet back up here afterwards?
Yep. Everyone agrees and goes their separate ways. To my surprise, Kara follows Emmy into the library. Zack and Leanna both move towards the exhibitions and seem surprised by each other's choice. I take a close look at the exhibition and see two signs. I guess the reason there are so many people here is because there are two exhibitions going on at once. One is on the illusions of the mind, and the other is about the heroes of Isaria. Leanna and Zack both walk towards the exhibit on illusions. Check out the exhibit with Leanna and Zack. See what Kara is up to. This is the exhibit on the heroes of Isaria. I'm good for now. I mean, we'll check out every single one anyway, but I think we will go... Let's go with first one. Yeah, why not? Illusions of the mind sounds like it can be interesting. Some of them are really clever. I enter the exit bit and catch up with Leanna and Zack. Hey guys! Zack nods.
Hey! I didn't know you liked illusions of the mind.
That can be fun. Leanna smiles and nods. The room is filled with different paintings and sculptures. People mill around each piece, squinting in concentration and quietly discussing. To be fair, we probably should go to the Elder exhibit to learn a little bit about the world, but we'll be able to, I think. We decide to start at one end of the room and work our way down. The first piece is one I'm very familiar with. It's a 2D painting of colored spirals. You need to show this to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Leanna gasps.
It looks like it's moving.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Zack nods in agreement. We move on to the next one. It's a drawing of an elephant, but something seems off. Both Leanna and Zack squint at it. It's missing a leg.
Yeah.
Zack leans closer.
Wait, no it isn't.
Leanna counts.
Only 4 legs, but there looks like there should be more.
This is confusing. We murmur in agreement as we move on. As we study the next image, my first turn is bright red. Is that a naked woman?
Dancing figures.
Leanna nods. Really? That's what you see? The two of them give me strange glances.
Yes? What are you seeing?
Okay, should we actually be truthful to what? Because... Alright, this is just an illusion. Let's say it. I see a naked woman. A woman. They blink. Of the less than clothed variety. Leanna's cheeks turn pink as she studies the image.
What? Really? How?
Look, it's so obvious! She squints.
I don't see...
Leanna's eyes widen.
Maybe should move on.
You saw, didn't you? I bet you did. Her cheeks are flushed as she carries on to the next image. I bet she finally saw it. We pass a few more images and both Zack and Leanna are in agreement of what they see in each one. They spotted the old man in the old man or woman image and they saw the swan in the rabbit or swan image. Every time they agree, they grin at each other and sometimes they even share a glance, as if they were in on a secret no one else knew. It's a bit of uncanny how in sync they are with each other right now. I've never seen them get along so well before, or Zack smiles so much at once. As we pose at the next illusion, Amon ponders the image thoughtfully. He wears the black robe with gold stripes, and a mess of blonde hair sits atop his head. His blue eyes squint intently at the image as he ponders the illusion.
All of these images hold so much meaning.
Oh my
They're the
god,
epitome of understanding
he's
that
talking so
not
slowly.
Everything is as it seems. If you change your perspective, you're told a completely different story. I see these images and I wonder what it is the artist is trying to share. Which story is theirs? The one that I see first, or the one I understand after further study? This piece has been especially interesting.
He turns to us. Also, he seems like the guy that thinks, oh, the door was red. That must mean the author slaughtered 50 people in the doorstep of his house. Well, it's just, you know, the door is fucking red because that's what they sold at the goddamn IKEA. Anyway, he turns to us.
Tell me, what do you see in this picture?
Leanna and Zack share a knowing look and grin.
It's obvious.
Yep,
They answer simultaneously.
faces.
Vases.
Oh boy. They don't agree. That's... what? The two of them freeze, their eyes wide in shock.
You meant to say faces, right?
No, they're clearly vases.
No, they're faces.
Unless faces look like vases to you, you're very wrong.
Leanna shakes her head.
How could you have been so right about all the others and so wrong about this one?
Oh boy.
Actually, in that last illusion, I didn't see a swan. I saw a rabbit!
Now you are just lying, man. Let's face it. Leanna gasps.
I trusted you.
I thought that was the only time, but I see now that you've been wrong this whole time.
You're the one who's wrong.
No, there's no need to...
And there's me now wrapping hand around his arm and like... just don't bother. There's no stopping them. Leanna and Zack glare at him.
Not now!
Leanna suddenly rests her gaze on me.
What do you see?
Happy waifu, happy laifu, I see faces. Sisters before misters, I see faces. Bros before hugs, I see faces. Alright, first of all, most importantly, Leanna is not a hoe. So that's all out of the question. Sister before misters, she's not my sister. Happy waifu. We are after her, so you know. Listen, Zack. I'm after her, okay? So I have to take her side. I'm your wingman with Kara. No, well, actually, I'm more of a Kara's wingman with you, but... yeah. Anyway, happy waifu, happy waifu. I see faces. I don't know. I see faces too, I think. Leanna grins smilingly.
Ha!
Actually, it's naked woman again, but... anyway, Zack shakes his head.
You two are perfect for each other. You have equally bad taste.
Thanks. Leanna and I react at the same time. Perfect for each other!
Bad taste?
Really? That's what you noticed? She looks at me. I mean, bad taste!
Wait, what did you say?
I saw faces. Her smug grin returns and she spins back to Zack.
That's right. See, see? Their faces.
Zach sighs.
You're free to believe what you want, even if it's wrong.
Yeah. This is pretty much my approach with a lot of stuff. Well, you can believe whatever you want, but you're wrong. The philosopher... wait, I did not read one thing, right? She ignores his last comment, content her win. The philosopher chimes in before the two of them can't continue bickering. Actually, it's neither of those.
Have you considered the possibility that you're both right?
No, I didn't! Leanna and Zack stop arguing and look at him.
This illusion tells two independent stories, intertwined in a single piece of art.
Please speak
The
faster.
precision, the illusion, wrapped in perfect symmetry.
Imagine if something was reading a VN and was constantly speaking like that. Dang.
To understand another perspective instead of being rigid in one's own perception, that is the true intention.
Leanna and Zack nod slowly as if fully understanding and taking what he said. Calm and pensive, they face each other again.
I guess it's possible that they're vases.
I'm glad your eyes are finally working.
What? You jerk! You're supposed to say you see faces!
Why would I agree with something wrong?
Their arguments resume and I sigh deeply. Thanks, man! It seemed like it ended and you made it continue. Not this again. My gaze wanders the room and I glance wistfully at all of the other illusions, wishing we could move on. Hey guys, let's move on! They don't hear me. Guys! Again, the two of them are too wrapped up in the arguments to hear me. It seems like this is going to take a while. I guess I'll finish this exhibit on my own and check back in with them later. Unnoticed, I slip away from the group and finish up the tour. On the all of the illusions, I've seen a naked woman, by the way. That's right. Let's go to Kara. A little break from exhibits. Yeah. See what Kara is up to. Let's see. Kara said she's going to take care of some business in the library. I wonder what she's up to. I head in the library and find her among the shelves. Heyo, Kara! She smiles.
Hey there.
Checking out the selection.
You could say that. I'm wondering if I have something that might interest them.
Oh, you mean the orphans? Or... She pulls out the faded tome she found in the Earth Temple.
If this library is as extensive as Amy says, maybe they're looking to expand their collection.
Couldn't hurt to ask. I browse the books along the shelves. It looks like they've got all their books here too. She pulls out a book and inspects its cover, then grins as she puts it back.
They've got Aria's texts.
I have no idea what that is. Who are they?
The ancient civilization here. They're the people who would have built the Wind Temple. If they've got Aria's tomes, then they're sure to be interested in what I've got.
Kara confidently approaches a librarian.
Perhaps you could assist me.
The librarian glances down his nose at Kara and sniffs disdainfully.
Perhaps.
Perhaps! Ignoring his haughtiness, Kara pulls out a book and places it in front of him.
Would you be interested in a Gaian text?
He leans closer to inspect it.
Where did you acquire this?
From one of the ruins. Unlike most of texts found, this one is very atypical. It's actually a children's book.
Surprise slips through his demeanor.
A children's book?
Kara carefully flips through the pages to show the illustrations.
Yes, and you can tell it's Gaian based on the calligraphy.
She points to two different places on the page.
The Gaian's language didn't use punctuation, while the other ancient civilizations, such as the Arai, did. And the parchment itself is out of an animal hide, which is typical of Gaian culture.
Kara continues to spout more and more facts. The more she talks, the more impressed the librarian seems. By the end of her speech, his frown is replaced with an interested grin. He further inspects the book and then nods in satisfaction.
Fascinating. And you're hoping to donate it to our library?
No, sell it.
Well, donate for a small fee.
Correct.
Ah, of course.
Dude, what are you so surprised about? A person has to make a living. He lists a number which Kara pleasantly counters. They go back and forth for a while before the librarian finally notes. The two of them disappear for a few minutes before Kara returns with a small pouch. She grins as she safely tucks away her pouch. How'd it go?
Not bad. I was hoping I could get a little more, but I still ended up with more than the initial offer. That's a win in my book.
Yeah, I can't help but be a little impressed. It must be shown on my face as Kara looks at me questioningly.
What is it?
I'm impressed you know so much history. I thought you'd use your body to convince him. No, we are not going to say that. That was some good haggling. First or the third? That's the first one. Nothing really. You just really know your stuff. I heard you explaining to Daberna how to tell the books was Gaian and...
All in a day's work. It's important to do your research in my line of business. Don't want to be ripped off. Why don't we go check out the shops?
Yeah. Sure, it's nice to see more of the city. Kara and I leave the building, wander the cobbled streets until we came upon the marketplace. We browse a few of the storefronts. Kara mostly ignores the clothing shops and seems more interested in stores selling trinkets or antiques. While Kara peers through the window of the shop, I overhear a father and son talking in front of a sweet shop. The boy claps happily as his father hands him candy. His dad grins equally as wide.
I'm proud of you, son. Remember to keep up your studies. Maybe one day you can grow up to be a mage.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. I recall my father's face and how he looked when I brought home my first A. Really? He looked just as proud and happy as that man with his son. He took me out to ice cream as a reward and told me to keep my grades up. Wait, people actually do that? What is he doing now? Does he even know that I'm missing? A hand waves in front of my face.
Hello? Are you still there?
Kara looks concerned. Sorry, what's going on?
You okay there?
I'm a little homesick. Pretend it's nothing. I mean, I think she won't mind, I hope. Sorry, I saw the father-son over there and it just reminded me of kind of my home. My dad used to buy me ice cream as a reward for doing well in school when I was young. Kara's expression softens.
You never really talk about home. Sometimes it's hard to remember that everything is so up in the air for you. One minute you were living life as usual, and then in an instant all of that was ripped away and your life turned completely upside down.
Kara's voice increases as she talks. She seems to know exactly how I feel. We shouldn't talk about this anymore. Sounds like she speaks from experience. I'm dealing with it. Let's go with that one. Sounds like you've dealt with something similar. Kara looks surprised, then laughs bitterly.
Nothing quite as extreme as being transported to another world.
But something did happen. She goes quiet. Sorry, I didn't mean to try. It's just unexpected since you're always so confident. I got the impression you like traveling alone, and it's hard to imagine you'd be unable to handle yourself. Kara smiles softly.
I wasn't always like that. When I was young, I lived with my father in a big town. I went to school and gossiped with my friends and played with dolls just like every other little girl.
Okay. I can't imagine you playing with dolls. She does.
I love them. It's a bit embarrassing how many I had. My friends always liked to come to my house because I had all the popular dolls back in the day.
You realize I can't keep this information to myself, right?
Little girls like dolls. I'm not ashamed.
She started to sound a little more like herself again.
Anyway, sometimes things happen out of your control, and all you can do is roll with the punches.
True.
I'm sorry that you've been feeling alone, and that it's taken me so long to notice.
It's okay. I'm not lonely thanks to everyone. I'll manage. Thanks for listening. Yeah. The first one. Boom. I don't feel so alone after talking to you. Kara grins mischievously.
You should save lines like that for Leanna.
Damn your pixel fate! That's not what I meant. We aren't exclusive. Is that how she feels? Why not? Let's ask. Listen, I'm your wingman. You'll be my wink woman. Is that how Leanna feels? I'm not sure Leanna feels the same way. Kara chuckles and sighs.
If only only you knew what she says about you behind closed doors.
What? Tell me. What does she say? Kara just smiles inside again. Tell me. She winks.
You should ask her yourself.
She glances down the road.
Let's keep going.
I nod. We walk around for a while longer to explore the city. Yeah, we are wingmen for her with Zack. She's our wing woman of sorts. Let's go. Still Pixel Fate, where is Kara's route? Seriously. Or make it DLC like you did with Kaori's after story. Please do a Kara after story for us. Fuck. We eventually return to the library and exhibition hall and part ways. And that's when I visit the exhibit. Number 2. On the heroes of Isaria. Let's go. I decide to attend the exhibition to learn more about the history of Isaria. I follow the signs, direct me into the Heroes of Isaria exhibit, and see a broad wall with an enlarged portrait of 5 people. Below the portrait is the text, Heroes of Isaria! There are a few historical items on display, safely preserved behind cubes of glass. I see a rusty sword which was found at the site of the first battle. On the wall is some information about the War of Isaria. I begin reading. The War of Isaria began with the establishment of Void. Originally shadow magic practitioners lived in harmony throughout the 3 kingdoms. A small faction became discontent with the status quo and abused the uses of shadow magic. As this faction grew, they became known as Void. They quickly turned to the dominant force and spread chaos throughout the kingdoms. The 3 kingdoms, Havengard, Vanilla, and Kresmar had been in a constant state of land wars, I'm about to sneeze, with each other, pushing the borders and boundaries. Sorry, and did not initially notice the rise of Void through the disarray. Void was free to ravage towns and cities within all 3 kingdoms, and the destruction was immense. It was not until the Heroes of Isaria emerged that the tide of war changed. Although originally divided, the 3 kingdoms realized they had to work together to stop Void, and they collectively supported the efforts of the heroes. With their help, Void was ultimately defeated. The kingdoms recognized that their wars helped carve a way for organizations like Void to grow, and they called a ceasefire. Together they established their borders and found peace. All 3 kingdoms agreed that shadow magic was too dangerous of an element and banned its use. Thus, the Treaty of Isaria was signed. Huh. I'd heard tidbits about the War of Isaria, but this helps me understand the severity of Void's reappearance. They must have really wreaked havoc among the 3 kingdoms. There is an excerpt on the Heroes of Isaria as well. Ooh. Why is there Kirito? What the hell? Oh, hey, oi, isn't this the one that was walking with the dude? It's her, isn't it? It's got to be her also. The Heroes of Isaria are the group of 5 people who banded together to defeat Void's operation. Although they came from different places in Isaria, they each had the same goal, to do whatever it took to protect their country and people. Oh, freak. Top right, Isabel Celine. Okay. Dude, it's definitely her. Let's read about her first. Isabel Celine is a skilled archer from the desert dunes of Vanilla. Living in the harsh climate of the desert forced her to grow up quickly. She had a natural proficiency with a bow, and it wasn't long before she became deadly accurate with her shots. Paired with her casting abilities, she is a dangerous opponent and a great asset to the team. She used the environment to her advantage to target her enemies without being seen. Isabel began tracking Void's operation at the start of the war and was one of the main reasons the heroes were able to quickly find Void encampments. After the war, Isabel disappeared. No one has been able to track her movements, but men say that where there may be shadow magic, Isabel will be there to deal justice. I like her. Wait a minute, tracking Void, carries a bow. Could the woman Rodman talk to back in Woolsden have been Isabel? Oi, I said this. My eyes widen. I immediately met one of the heroes of Isaria. That's awesome! I mean, kind of, yeah. Kind of. Let's say, look, one after the other now. Like, the others we don't know. Center, XZ. Grew up in a small town in Vanilla, but not much else is known about his past. Always wearing his classic smirk. He's known for his quick-witted jokes and cheery demeanor. But beneath his bright demeanor, he is a formidable mercenary, known for his powerful fire augmentation and martial arts. A natural leader, XZ likes to tackle his problems head-on. It is not uncommon for him to be the first to run into a battle. After the war, XZ returned to his hometown, where he's honored as a hero. Bottom left, Odessa Redlone. Odessa can always be spotted with her loyal pet Mink, Maeva. She grew up in Havengard and was a proud student of the Mage Academy. She excelled in her studies and was always in the top of her class. Upon graduation, she was invited to join the Mage Guild. A skilled firecaster. They have a lot of fire here, don't they? Like 3 of them are already fire. Kirito over here obviously is not, but... And the guy on the bottom right is probably wind. But whatever. A skilled firecaster, it is of no surprise that she was selected to assist the guild during the battles against Void. Her magical proficiency and understanding of alchemy made her a valuable addition. After the war, she returned to her alma mater in Havengard, where she became a professor. Her expertise continues to shape the young minds of our future mages today. Top left, Crystalline, also Kirito, let's face it. He was a student at the Zelisek Academy in Kresmar, where he studied to become a mage. He learned to conjure weapons of pure ice as a specialty of frost magic. When the War of Isaria broke out, Rix left the academy to join the fighting efforts against Void. Never one to think inside the box, he created and mastered a unique form of materializing weapons of all shapes and sizes. At the end of the war, he was invited to complete his studies at the Mage Academy in Havengard, which he accepted. He adjusted his studies to become a Mage-Knight due to his weapon conjuration technique. After graduating, he joined the Mage Guild. He quickly rose through the ranks and earned the highest honor a Mage-Knight can achieve, Class S. I mean, it's not SS, though. Robin Ostergaard. Robin spent his younger years in Havengard. He was a lively man who had a fondness for song and a knack for poetry. Kind and gentle in nature, he was often found reading the texts of past histories. Even in his youth, he had a passion for helping others. He had a skill for wind magic, but he only used his casting to protect others and only when he felt the situation was dire. Regardless of how infrequently he chose to cast, it did not lessen just how powerful mage he was. After the war's end, Robin disappeared. Many believe he may have been killed in battle. Nevertheless, Isaria chooses to remember him for the hero he is, a savior of the kingdoms. This is pretty interesting. I can see why the heroes are so respected. Well, I continue browsing the exhibit until I've seen all there is to see. I'm ready to call it a day. I see that the other two are, you know, still arguing about the illusions. Anyway. The sun is beginning to dip in the sky. I'd better go check on Emmy and see if she's made any progress. After entering the library, I spot Amelia at a secluded table surrounded by a mountain of books. She doesn't hear me approach. Hey, Emmy!
Hello.
She doesn't look up from her textbook. Did you make any progress? Finally, she looks up at me.
Yes, I did.
She gestures to the books around her.
All of these texts include data on the 100 floating isles. I have spent the afternoon gathering and analyzing all of that information.
How did you manage to read all of that? Wait, did you say floating isles? Amy blinks.
Yes.
As in they're hovering in the air?
Yes.
You don't seem surprised by this.
Of course not. The islands float due to the magical dispersion in this area. This is a natural phenomenon which has been around since the time of the ancients.
Do people live on those islands?
No, it is not logical nor conducive for habitation. Most of the islands are far too small for colonization, and those which are large enough to hold a small population are not suited for civilization. But because they have been mostly untouched, the isles are still one of the most beautiful natural wonders of Isaria.
Okay, but if no one lives on the isles, then why are you studying them?
It is highly likely that the Wind Temple was built upon one of those isles. Based on my hypothesis, the temple would be built on the site of the highest concentration of energy.
Okay, how did no one find out that? Oh? Amy nods and begins to explain her scribed notes. The rest of the group slowly trickles in. Zack and Leanna arrive first, and a short while later, Kara follows.
If my calculations are correct, the temple should be located in this region.
She opens one of the books to a map and points to a cluster of islands. That's great, but we still have a problem. The islands are floating. How are we supposed to get up there?
Wind magic would solve that predicament.
Huh? Everyone focuses on Leanna.
That's true. While I can use wind magic to jump from isle to isle, it's impossible for me to manipulate enough energy to be able to float everyone. I could float myself and perhaps assist one other person.
Obviously, that second person would be him.
Yeah. Zack gestures to me. Oh yeah, makes sense actually. Makes sense. I'm the only person who can absorb the energy.
What about the rest of us?
Don't worry, Kara. I'll bring you back some souvenirs from the temple. Kara laughs.
I appreciate that, but we should still be close by. The least we can do is keep watch.
We can set up at the edge of the first isle and wait for their return.
Kara nods.
That sounds good to me.
There's still some distance for us to travel to reach the Isles. We can cross that distance as a group and split up from there.
Yes, but tomorrow. It's already growing dark, so we should rest tonight.
Okay.
Let's go find an inn then.
Let's go find Linden. Once in agreement, we help Ami clean up and then return to the streets. Now that the sun has set, the cold seeps through my clothes and chills my skin. A shiver crawls down my spine. Leanna blows on her hands.
Change in temperature is really apparent without the sun.
Yeah. Amy glances at Leanna.
If you are cold, perhaps we should inquire whether the Flushed Mermaid has any rooms. Their rooms are more luxurious than the inns we may be used to, but there is a fireplace in each room. I do believe they provide heat stones we may request to slip in our beds, should the blankets be insufficient. Plus, their hot springs are open for guest usage.
Let's go! It's decided! Kara perks up. Yeah, we are going. It's decided. There's no reason. Lead the way.
Did you just say hot springs?
Lead the way.
Yes, that is
You had me at hot springs. Let's go there.
Yeah, I agree. She begins to push Amy in a random direction.
This is the incorrect way. The inn is towards the west.
Then let's go.
Oops. To the west.
Kara carries Amy towards the west as the rest of us follow along. Oh, our group checks in the Flushed Mermaid. The first thing we do is make reservations for the hot springs. Fortunately, their availabilities for the men's and women's hot springs are at the same time. Yes. After we complete our reservation, we receive our keys to the rooms and go upstairs to get ready. Holy crap, that's fancy. Amy was right when she said the Flushed Mermaid had nice rooms. These are a lot more elegant and grand than any of the others we've stayed in. Zack and I enter the room and my eyes are drawn to the pale wooden dressers, gilded with clamshells and pearls. Two couches sit before a flickering ivory fireplace. The mantel is streaked with silver waves with a mermaid carved at the center. Dang! Why don't we always stay in rooms like this?
They're expensive.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sucks to be a peasant. Zack heads to his room as I find robes and towels in my closet. Once I'm ready, I meet up with Zack and we go downstairs and make our way to the men's side of the hot springs. I step down to the pool, shivering at the first touch of heat. Zack settles across from me, enveloped in a vapor cloud. I sink even lower for the water to cover my chest. The Pango plops next to me with a small splash. After a moment, he drifts back up to the surface like a fishing bopper. The Pango drifts in place, his mouth still covered underwater. A second later, he lets out a happy, bubbly noise. I smile and pat him on his head. This is nice, isn't it? The Pango beams at me. He leaps out of the pool and then makes a game of jumping in and out of the water. A slow grin spreads across Zach's face.
Hey, I saw some meat inside.
Dude, you have a lot of scars. Oh, so you want a round too, huh? I'm done drinking. I'm done drinking, man. No, we are not drinking again. No. No! No! Let's not do it. No, no, no. Alright. Oh, so you want a round two, huh? I grin back. Uh-oh. Is the mercenary of drinking making a comeback? Zach lifts an eyebrow.
Comeback? I won last time.
As if you remember anything from that night.
Fair point.
We both grin. You know, I kind of wonder what that Pango would be like drunk. Zach furrows his eyebrows.
That's a strange thought to have.
I mean, theoretically speaking, could he get drunk off of magical energy? I realize I no longer hear the Pango splashing around. Hey, where'd it go? Zach looks around. The Pango is nowhere inside. The Pango is constantly running off. Aren't you curious about where he goes?
No.
Wait, if he's not hanging out with me, he's usually with Emmy. For science. Zach arches an eyebrow.
And?
I guess we'll stick around. You know, science is important. We don't do much science ourselves. We should investigate. For science. Dude, he thought I went over to the girl's side.
I don't think so.
We should do a double check to be sure.
Nah.
Whatever, I'll just chill here. It must be done even without you. Don't you want to see Kara in a towel? Kara, we are going to start Operation Wingman. I know it's a terrible name, but don't you want to see Kara in nothing but a towel? Zack freezes and his eyes get wide. He curls his arms and turns away, but not before noticing the slight shade of pink in his cheeks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do, you bastard. You do know what I'm talking about. You do. A slow smirk lights my face. Oh, my bad. I thought you might be interested. I mean, it's hard to resist the thought of a girl in a hot spring, right? Bouncing around, flush skin from the heat, wearing nothing but a towel. Or maybe no towel at all. Zack quickly clears his throat.
Well, we'd be doing it for Pongo, right?
Yes, I agreed. Of course.
And we're just trying to make sure the Pongo is okay. If we end up running into anything else, that isn't our intention at all.
I know it. Zack uncrosses his arms.
Then I suppose we can check this out, but only for a second.
Yes, sir! We both make our way across the hot spring, and we eventually come across a massive wooden wall. Mist pops up from behind it. A few crystal lamps are lined overhead, but it's so dark that their golden glow can't quite penetrate it. We hear a loud splash followed by a bunch of girls squealing. We can't seem to make out any words. My heart rate starts to pick up. We have to make it over. I make a move for the wall, but Zack grabs my shoulder.
No, this way.
How do you know? Huh? Why?
There's a darker spot over there. Less risk of being seen if a guard comes this way.
My eyes follow to the shadowy spot he's pointing at. I blink surprise. I hadn't even noticed it before. It's a good thing I have a mercenary on my side for noble causes like this. Zack inspects the wall as if analyzing the best way over.
Boost me up.
I cup my palms together and give him a push. He jumps with one smooth motion and manages to grab the wall. I get a feeling this isn't his first time scaling a wall. I mean, couldn't we just get on those freaking humongous rocks? Whatever. From the top, he extends a hand down that I just managed to reach by jumping, and he pulls me up. When I've just about scaled the wall, we hear the footsteps and see the shadow of a guard approaching.
Get in, quick!
Get in where? Get in where? We dive over to the other side of the wall. My heart starts racing again. Did we actually make it? Wait, we were jumping. Oh, fuck. I did not expect them to jump over. Whatever. We both slip into the hot spring and swim over slowly, so as to not make any noise or splash. Soon we hear voices, familiar voices.
Leanna, that feels so good.
My heart leaves in my throat and I try to peek for a closer look. Zack pulls my back and points to one of the larger rock formations. His face is bright red as we swim over, but I can't tell if it's from the heat or what we just heard. Leanna giggles.
Do you like that?
Yes, so much.
What is going on there? We settle behind the rocks and peek over to be greeted with a perfect view. It's almost like the person who designed this hot spring knew exactly what these rocks would be used for and gave his or her blessing. Thank you, hot spring architect. You are the real hero here. The first thing I see is the Pango splashing around. That sneaky Pango. I knew he did just for the girls.
Alright, now it's my turn to wash your back. Turn around.
Okay.
I like the sound of this. My eyes follow the voices and...
Kara!
My heart stumbles to a halt. Ugh. Kara stands behind Leanna, her arms wrapped around her, with her hands, well, washing her back, as she said. That does not look like... But it does not look like that, yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
Kara looks surprised before a falling green slice across her face.
I was definitely not expecting that sort of reaction from a Mage-Knight.
Huh? What?
Leah glances down. It takes her a second to register what's happening, and her face goes from a sunset pink to a murdered scarlet.
Kara!
Kara laughs. Leanna squirms a little.
How could you do that?
Do what? Kara giggles and nuzzles her face between Leanna's neck and shoulder.
Are you really surprised?
Leanna twists away from her, crossing her arms to hide her chest.
You can't just...
She sputters as the words escape her. My eyes have been blessed. This is a good day!
What?
I mean, this is a good day.
It is most perplexing that Leanna continues to claim disinterest in Kara's actions, even though her body language and audible responses are that of positive stimulation.
Amelia!
Leanna's face turns an even brighter shade of crimson.
That's not true.
Wait, what? Continues to deny Kara's advances. How many times have we missed out?
Boy?
Uh-oh. The Pango bobs with just his eyes above the surface, staring in our direction. His voice is bubbly and muffled from being underwater. He blinks. Oh no, can he see us?
Boy!
The Pango jumps and lands on the rock we are hiding behind. He bounces up and down with a huge smile.
Boy! Boy, boy!
Pango, no! Shh!
Get your Pongo under control!
I'm trying, damn it!
What's going on?
Boy! If we should do that, maybe it will work. The Pango leaps higher and higher into the air. He reminds me of an excited little dog running up to greet you after a long day at work.
Boy, boy!
Leanna reaches for a towel.
Is someone there?
Crap, what do we do? I know I would say that, oh, let's do boy, whatever. When he did something like that, it's a killer. I jerk my head. Dude, we would be discovered in an instant because of what you did. I jerked my head up and gave it Zack. That was the most unconvincing cat sound I've ever heard. A serpent smile slides across Kara's face. She plants a head on her hip.
Zach, is that you?
Meow?
Kara laughs out loud.
Oh, this is gold.
Dude, has Steven ever worked for you before in your life?
Once.
What? How is that even possible?
I realized the guy was deaf afterwards.
The Pango bounced up and down, going crazy with happiness.
I hear more than one voice.
Leanna looks horrified. She holds herself out of water and wraps her towel even tighter around herself. Stumbling, she lunges for the pile of fluffy towels, folded off to the side, and starts cloaking them around herself. The Pango leaps off of the rock and straight to my arms. I let out deep exhale of a gig is up. I stand there and Zack begrudgingly does the same. The Pango leaps onto my shoulder and snuggles against my cheek. Oh man, he's so sweet. How can I stay angry? Yeah, maybe because I die here tonight. Emilia cocks her head.
It is quite surprising to find you two occupying the same hot spring as us. After all, this is the woman's side, and you both are men.
What? This is the woman's side? No way!
My face goes hot.
What? It is? We're obviously lost.
Kara giggles.
What a terrible excuse.
Leanna has somehow successfully swaddled herself in at least 10 towels. She reminds me of a fluffy marshmallow.
You guys!
Where's the 10th?
One of the towels falls over her face. She huffs and shoves it back.
You guys can't just come over here.
Kara winks.
Yeah, if you wanted to hang out, you should have just said so.
What?
Huh?
What? Kara grabs our arms and yanks us to the back of the bushes. Really? Leanna looks mortified.
What?
She grabs even more towels. I'm not sure which part of herself she's trying to cover at this point. Kara leads us into water and smiles. So she's basically like joining friends at some point, huh? With clothes. Anyway.
We don't mind. Right, Amy?
Emilia barely registers Kara's comment.
The activities of the rest of the team do not concern me lest it disturbs my research.
This girl. Research. Amy nods. She lifts her hand and makes some of the water rise, shaping into a little dolphins. The Pango blinks curiously. He jumps down from my shoulder and onto a small rock to investigate. She smiles and waves her hand. The tiny dolphins dive in and out of the water. The Pango's eyes sparkle with wonder. She looks pleased with herself, but I have no idea what the heck she's trying to research. Kara slides in and bumps Zack with her hip, making him jump.
So, did you like what you saw earlier?
He turns away and crosses his arms, but his cheeks turn a slight pink.
I saw nothing.
Kara's smile turns wicked.
Oh, really? What a shame. Well, now that you're here, you might as well make yourself useful. I need my back washed, please.
But Leanna already did.
Oh, she got you good.
I thought you didn't see anything.
Zack shuts up and his face becomes red. Kara grins and hands him a loofah? Loofah? What the fuck is a loofah? Loofah. What's that?
I actually don't think I've ever seen that word. Loofah. The fibrous interior of a fruit that resembles a marrow, dried and used as sponge for washing the body. Okay. Okay. I still don't, how does it look? Loofah. Okay. So So it's like a natural sponge, basically, of sorts. It looks weird. Anyway. She swims over to the side so she can prop herself up and relax as she sets Zack to work. I swim to one of the edges, with the penguin Ami having fun and Zack and Kara doing their own business. There's only one person left. Hey, where did Leanna go? What was that? What are you trying to be? Zack tried to be a cat. What are you trying to be? Huh? I turned around, but there's nothing there except for a giant pile of towels as tall as a human. This girl. Leanna, is that you under there?
No.
The towels shiver a bit at what I'm guessing is Leanna shifting around from underneath. Why are you buried under all of the towels?
It's just very cold out here.
Cold?
Yes.
In the hot springs.
That's right.
If you're uncomfortable, I can go. I give it 20 seconds before it gets too hot. I'm not talking to a mountain of towels. Ooh. Oh. I feel like the safest option here for us, for her. Yeah, I mean, clearly we are making her more than uncomfortable. So let's go. Yeah. Hey, I can leave if you want.
I swear I can feel Leanna's soaring blush through all those mountains of towels.
That's not... I mean...
She takes a deep breath, then the layers of towels slowly start to drop off until there is only one left. She comes over and takes a seat on the edge of the spring, letting her legs dangle in the water. Her face is still flushed, and I have a feeling it's not just from the heat. You know, all things considered, I think your wolves den armor was more revealing than this. Leanna blinks at me and then she laughs.
You might be right.
Oh, I do have a confession. She looks at me curiously.
What is it?
Even with the stack of towels, I saw something just now that I didn't see when you were wearing that other outfit.
Your ankles!
Leanna bursts out laughing.
I also saw something before as well, but...
Zip.
Oh no! How embarrassing! I feel so exposed!
She laughs again and the tension from before eases. We continue to chat for a while longer. Kara continues to tease Zack, who stubbornly pretends not to notice, and Emmy conjures little rigs in the water to the delight of the pango. Once it gets close to the end of our reservation time, Zack and I slip back to the men's hot springs so we don't end up in trouble. After our time is up in the hot springs, we change back into our clothes and meet at the Flushed Mermaid's Inn to have a late night snack. We gather around a mother-of-pearl table, flecked with bits of coral. The chairs here are more comfortable than the wooden ones I've gotten used to. The servers bring us each a scoop of ice cream. Leanna grins and digs in.
Wow, this is delicious!
What kind do you have?
Chocolate?
Kara's expression turns wicked.
Looks good. Mind if I try?
Leanna smiles.
Not at all.
She goes to slide over her bowl, but instead Kara moves in on the spoon of ice cream that Leanna is holding and eats directly from it.
Kara!
Yep, you're right. It's delicious.
Kara giggles and winks. Zack stares at the scene. Kara seems to feel his stare because she turns to face him.
What's wrong? Want me to lick yours, too?
Zack chows on his ice cream as his face becomes completely red.
Oh, wait, never mind. We both got the same flavor.
Which is what? She grins deviously.
I'm glad we have the same tastes.
Zack mumbles something incoherent. After we're done with our snack, we all decide to turn in for the night. We make our way towards the staircase to our bedrooms. On our way upstairs, Zack spots a fancy vase.
Hey, Leanna, what's that?
Leanna looks.
What? You mean that?
She suddenly pauses. Pink creeps in her cheeks.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you just said. What is that?
She frowns.
It's Two Faces.
I let out a low groan.
Not this again.
Kara and Amelia blink in confusion.
Leanna, is Is it not clear that the object to which Zack is referring is a vase?
I know what I saw.
Zack smirks triumphantly as Leanna crosses her arms and pouts. Kara looks from Zack to Leanna and then shakes her head.
I'm not even going to ask.
Please don't. Please don't. That's for the best, really. Trust me on that one. We hike up the stairs and separate into our rooms. I glance down. Huh? You want to stay with us, Pango? The Pango perks up. I open the door a little wider and he bounces into the room. The wind howls outside and I automatically step closer to the fireplace. Did Emmy say something about slipping hot stones into our beds if we're clothed? But Zack has already rolled away from me. By his heavy breathing I can tell he's already asleep. How? I feel pretty relaxed too. I suppose that's the thing about hot springs. It helps you relax and get a good night's sleep. Oh, maybe that's an idea. I mean, even if for a moment, I wonder if we fucking have that in here somewhere. For I kinda doubt we have natural. Because Poland sucks. Let's see. Dude, maybe that's an idea to go somewhere. Okay, saved up. Don't close the mark. Okay. I crawl into my bed where the sheets are smooth and welcoming. The Pango snugs up next to me under the blankets. My eyelids feel heavy and in only a few minutes I find myself drifting off into a deep sleep. And decide to end the episode. That was a good one. That was a good... I mean, from my perspective at least. And by that I mean I enjoyed recording this. Hope you enjoyed watching the end product. But we have to end it. We'll continue tomorrow, of course. There will be more of this lovely game, which I have a lot of fun playing. Hope you have a lot of fun. Enjoy. Hope you have a lot of fun, or some fun at least, and watching it. If you do, consider liking. That would be much appreciated. Have you ever been to a hot springs? Tell me that. And we are talking natural hot springs, not like otherwise. Natural hot springs is where I would like to go. Subscribe if you haven't already for more of hot spring scenes in visual novels in the future. You can go to my Twitch, Instagram and Twitter as well. I'm over there occasionally. And that's it for today. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Have a wonderful day. Yeah. Bye-bye.